Happy Friday!
Hi, sorry. Joking.
Welcome to another edition with Fridays with Friends. Look, you can see the table.
You can. It looks like
Welcome.
a prison table. I don't know what prison tables look like.
We're now in prison, evidently. On here and chit chat about stuff.
Hi, Molly.
Nothing of substance. Sometimes, hi Molly. Sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's boring. Could be interesting and boring depending on the person who is watching.
Or the person who's yawning in your ear.
Entertainment is in the ear of the beholder.
Yeah, something like that. They asked how the weather is.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. It's chilly.
It's beautiful.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, May 1st, 2023. I hope you are having a wonderful day. All right, we just went back to the past and we talked about this weird welfare food stamps / bankruptcy filing by Christine. We know that back in the day, the wives had a lot of financial issues, and obviously that plagues the communities that are the polygamists. Now, many of these wives have gone out on their own and they're in the real world. Their lives in the real world are very different than those that generally leave these groups and don't have the resources and the money that the Browns have. Meri Brown is one of those women that's extremely lucky to have left the system, be financially secure, own her own home, and have friends to fall back on. Now, Fridays with Friends is this thing she does on her Instagram. And a lot of you guys have been asking me to talk about these. I've talked about them in the past. She can get really sassy. She has thrown shade at Christine in the past on these. She sometimes appears drunk. A lot of you are concerned that Meri is an alcoholic, and I don't speculate on that because honestly, I go live on my Instagram and people assume I'm intoxicated. I think if people are off the cuff and silly, they are automatically accused of being drunk. Okay? So Meri Brown has a tendency to act a little bit silly, kind of erratic, maybe weird on these Fridays with Friends. And the Fridays with Friends, frequently the last several weeks, are so off the cuff, no direction. The conversations don't seem to go anywhere. They don't really talk about anything. And the comments from this week, people are like worried about her and they're convinced she was wasted. So I'll show you some clips of this and we can talk about it. But before we do, can you please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. If you have not yet, click on the bell so you get notified of any time I go live. Make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say and share the videos with your friends. So before we dive into this topic, I'm not going to speculate on what I think is going on with Meri. I don't want to speculate that she is drinking. I don't want to speculate that she is drunk. I don't want to speculate about any of that. What I will say is that I'll share with you the comments that are from her Instagram with people saying that she is drunk and that they're convinced she is drinking, and others are concerned about her well-being. I got the sense that she might be having a good time here, but I will say this, is that sometimes when people leave polygamy, it can be like their entire fracture, like their whole world sort of like falls underneath them. And a couple weeks ago, she and Jen were on a Fridays with Friends, and they were talking about how when they met, you know, Jen was still referring to Meri as a polygamist. And Meri just sort of like had this like aha moment where she's like, wait a minute, I'm not a polygamist anymore. Like I was a polygamist. Your entire identity, when your entire identity and your like your future, your eternity, your happiness, your family's eternity, sealed for time and all eternity, your faith is wrapped up in a very oppressive cult, and you have had these like ideas that are very, very radical and very hard to believe, but that's the life you've lived, and you've been brainwashed to believe this your whole life, and then you're out of that and you're in your 50s. It's like she has coming into the real world now in her 50s, and she's like doing it in real time on an Instagram live, okay? So she's in a lot of ways for the first time single completely now, in her own home, not in the same town as Cody anymore, not a part of a family anymore. She is completely on her own. A lot of times when people leave polygamy or a high pressure or high control cult, they can fall into a lot of issues. There are some cults like the FLDS that people that leave, there's high incidences of those who die by suicide. Others that end up turning to drugs and alcohol. Others that get into depression, because when you leave, you're not just leaving the person or that life, you're leaving like your identity, and you're leaving everything that was happening before that and after, and you have to figure out life on your own now, and it's a lot for people to handle. And then people process trauma and they go through really dark times. And so if she's drinking, I just want to say that wouldn't surprise me. And if she is drinking, I would say try not to be too hard on her. So I wanted to show you a few clips that got people sort of like riled up, and then I'll share the comments with you and you can decide.
I actually got to the place where I was going, and it's like a federal institution.
We're not in jail.
Maybe.
I know
Yeah,
she
it's-
thinks this is, hey, listen, nothing is wrong with Vegas, Miss Honeybee and Jen.
I can give you a bullet pointed list.
I like Vegas. I'm just saying.
And that's fine. I'm sure
All over the
there is
house.
so much pink,
So much pink. It is coral.
which is
right?
pink.
Jinx's mommy? It is so coral. It's kind of like a dusty
Salmon.
coral. It's not pink.
So someone has to be like the thingies that hang from the tree.
Oh, it looked like a really giant
Alarum.
dead bug.
Aluminium linoleum.
Not
We are in a barn
aluminum.
where we were raised.
See, I told you. The words were failing me. Please hold. I need my drink, and it's holding this phone up. So hold on.
You guys, I love the saying, you were born in a barn, you see drama happening in this town. It's a big deal. That was only halfway intentional. Anyways, my friend, I was like, I want to like spite join a pickleball league just to be.
All right, so basically they sit at a park and they're at a pavilion and they had dinner and they're just silly, right? And they're laughing and they're all over the place and they're slapping the table, and it seems like they might have had some cocktails. Now, Meri doesn't drink, according to her, and she almost always says she's drinking water. And they have no ability to stay on conversation. I only showed you like a tiny little amount of it. I tried to watch most of it, but they were so all over the place. They were like in between, like going in and out and slapping on the table and then like laughing. And then they sometimes sounded like they had been drinking and other times they didn't. And I don't, like I said, care. But when I went into her comments, these are what the comments said. What time did the party start? Drunk 30? Another person said, sounding a bit tipsy, Meri. And then someone said, is this for real? People actually watch this? Okay. So I think that Fridays with Friends started as a good idea and a good concept, but sometimes when they go on there, they literally have nothing to talk about. And so they spend a lot of their time just like staring at the comments and just answering questions. And sometimes they have like their side conversations. And the problem with Fridays with Friends is that she posts it after. And so you don't see like the comments because you can't see the people that are commenting in the live stream. So you don't know what they're answering. So that's one issue. So you have no idea the context of what they're talking about. But the drunk question or the drunk comments were like, are y'all drunk? Meri is crunk. It's fine if you're a little tipsy, Meri. You deserve it. Being married to your ex, Cody, don't let nobody put you down. Love you. Someone wrote, 10 minutes of my life I can't get back. I like Meri, but this is painful to watch and pointless. Seriously, being drunk doesn't help you. She sounds tipsy most of the time. Her friend is so weird. Her friend is so weird. Everyone says Meri's drunk in this video, and she very well could be. She deserves to be after the life she's had to live. You go, Meri. Someone else said, it seems from the outside looking in that it is, that drinking to excess is a frequent event for Meri and her friend. Your life experiences coupled with this behavior is fraught with dangerous outcomes for you. Best to stop and check it with yourself and watch your posts when you're not alcohol affected. Obviously, a lot of people think she's drunk. And she could be. She could be. I think what strikes people is that what people are responding to is that the Meri that she's on Fridays with Friends is not the Meri that you see on the show. On the show, Meri's always depressed and sad, and she never laughs, and she looks sad all the time because she was with a jerk of a husband and in an unhappy marriage and stuck in a situation where she probably felt hopeless. When she's with her friend, Jen, obviously she's with her friend. She has no guards up. She's just being who she is. She's being silly and goofy. I think the going in and out, truthfully, is partially that she can't read the comments, and she's trying to read the comments, and she's probably like me, where you get, as you age, your vision gets worse, and so you have to like squint to see the comments. So I think that's part of it. And I think that the other thing is that because they're Mormons, or they're like, well, Mormons and then fundamentalists at that, like the polygamists, they're teetotalers. They don't drink. And here's the weird thing, though, I'll tell you, is that even though they say that they don't drink, I know that some are closet drinkers and closet drug users. So they might claim to be abstinent of alcohol and drugs, but then they actually drink. So on the show, they would go places and have a cocktail. I know that people have seen Cody and Robin out and they've had drinks. With Meri, she's always adamantly said, like, I do not drink alcohol. I'm not a drinker, which I think makes people more believe that she's like hiding it. And so I think that deceptiveness of her saying she doesn't drink makes people like play the game more that she does drink. I will say this, and my advice to Meri would be, is if you want to make this like a regular thing and you want to have people engaged in this, it would be good to actually have a topic to discuss. It would be good to be less like reactive to the chat and just talk about whatever the topic is that you want to talk about. They go off in so many different directions that I think is that they're reacting to the chat, where it appears like more ADHD, and I can say that because I have ADHD, is that like you start one topic, then you go to the next, then you go to the next, then you go to the next before you even finish a thought, because she's reacting to the chat. I don't know if she's drunk. And honestly, you guys, if she is drunk, let her be drunk. Who else would not want it? I mean, after what she's been through with Cody, would you not want to be drunk? I would. Tell me in the comments if you would want to be drunk. After a 30-year marriage where you've been, 3 wives have been brought in, you've been displaced 3 times, you've had to deal with your husband's infidelity while pretending that it's a religion, you've lost your parents, you've been moved around a million times, you've had financial upheaval, you've been accused of abusing all of your different kids, which maybe she did. She's been accused of being a jerk. She's been accused of being not nice to people. She's been tormented. I mean, she's tormented people and they've tormented her. So if she wants to drink, maybe she should just drink. I think fans just aren't used to it because they're supposed to be fundamentalists. So is that what you're responding to? I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.